What's up, guys? Boy here. Today we're doing another video. Oh, guess what? Well, and today we're going to be talking about the 4-piece rainbow shurikens review. Shuriken. Okay. So, let's begin. Okay, let's go talk about a comparison between this here and, so probably normally out there, when you think about shurikens out there, you'd probably think about this size out there. Well, let's go look at this here. Oh, yeah, you can definitely see. These are probably like the most tiniest ones I ever owned. These are like kind of like micro action figure size out there, believe it or not. And oh god, they're all pointy out there. Okay, let's go talk about basically the carrier itself. So this is how this whole thing is made of nylon out there with 4 pockets out there for, the 4 ninja shurikens out there. Little plastic button out there. A little belt loop out there for you to carry that around. Or you could just put them in your pocket out there. And inside there is basically sewn in for all of them to be separated out there. So yes, it basically is enforced nylon over everything. But the shurikens themselves up there are a completely different story. So we'd have 4-pointed one. So yes, I think there is actually a silver variant out there. Again, didn't know, maybe it does exist. This is the one that doesn't have a hole punched in. So yes, it's basically curved all over it. Again, looks like can openers or bottle openers out there. Of course, we got a 5-pointed one, which this looks like, could like a micro action figure could carry around with. But again, there's no like clips to put it, or rather the parts out there to have your figure hands to put on there. And yes, these are much tinier than that Quirrell sea turtle piece out there. So yeah, that's actually probably the smallest one you can get. This one right here is basically just 4 pointed out there. And probably these look like they must have cut out the other points out there, which, I don't know. This is probably the terrible design. This is probably seriously Mall Ninja level. I mean, these are all Mall Ninja levels out there. And then you've got this thing. Yeah, so you could, let me focus on that. Yeah, let me go. If you actually thought about it, it actually feels like that could have like 4 more points on there. Maybe it could. I don't know. This doesn't look like it could like survive through a paper bag out there by any means necessary without those 4 points up there. Yeah, kind of pretty crappy design out there. I mean, they look pretty crappy by design. So talk about the size itself. So size length out there is basically just near to like 3/4. Like you can see 3/4. Meanwhile, for like the blade, or rather the full like 1-point area, is basically just 1 inch. Meanwhile, the body is around about like a 1/2 inch. Yes, a 1/2 inch. And then the overall size is around about 2.5 inches. Meanwhile, the 5-pointed one is going to be around the blade itself, rather around about, again, oh no, it's almost like a 1/2 inch. Meanwhile, for the whole blade body out there would be around about 1 inch. Meanwhile, the body would be around about like a 1/2 inch. Meanwhile, for the overall size out there would be around about 2.5 inches. Meanwhile, for this guy, the point out there would be around about a 1/2 inch yet again. Meanwhile, for the side body would have been around about like 3/4. Meanwhile, the body is around about, again, 3/4 out there. Meanwhile, the overall size would have been around about 2/4. Out there would have been around about 2/4. And then our final one out there, this is going to get a little silly out there. So this one is around about a 1/2 inch out there. Meanwhile, for the seriously pointed edge out there, I've been around about like 3/4 out there. Meanwhile, for the whole body of the point out there, it would have been around about 3/4. Meanwhile, for this one, been around about, again, almost 1 inch. The body, again, would be around about, been around about 3/4 out there. Just for that whole center of it. Meanwhile, the overall size with the bigger, fatter version of it would have been around about 2.5 inches. Meanwhile, for the one that's skinny, pointed one, it's been around about, again, 2.5 inches. So let's test these bad boys out. So the result. Now let's get talk about by each one of them. So the four-pointed, this guy here, that is basically curled and everything, did a lot better than I usually see in here. So these are like the holes out there, and that's really probably best out there. Well, the five curved ones right here did a little better, but not, probably the best out there. I mean, they just like poke tiny holes over it. Meanwhile, the four-pointed one is technically the worst one out there, out of the collection, because you could see I took multiple tries, and only it's actually like bounces off multiple times out there. I mean, it really feels like an eternity out there to actually try to poke in holes over that one by throwing it out there. Which, yeah, you got to really rely on the pointed areas to basically get the result out there. And this 8-pointed one right here is, well, I don't know, it's not the best out there, but unlike for that one, at least it actually could stick more than the 4.1. So, I gotta say about this one here is, yeah, it's a pretty mixed bag for me for this situation. So, I give this 4-piece rainbow shurikens an astonishing amount of a 5 out of 10. It is a mixed bag out there, and I wish that they were like a little bigger than really small out there. I mean, they were really tiny, which, I don't know, that doesn't really look right. And also, it actually is pretty easy to get lost out there. I have this missing multiple times out there during that test out there. Like, it actually could blend into the rock out there, or blend into the gravel pit, which, that's gonna be like a hazard out there too. Like, I would rather have like a bigger one-piece shuriken than just like 4 tiny ones out there. So, that wraps up the 4-piece rainbow shurikens, which, to like put them all back in there. That's okay. Oh god, man. It's stuck in there. Okay. So I'm Artil Boy, and I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.